Greetings, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here today. My name is Amanda. I am here to discuss the month of June with you. This is going to be such an amazing month. So much about the energies that are streaming in throughout this entire month of June are going to be about the return of light, the returning of the inner knowledge, illumination, the understanding of your cosmic orientation. It connects very much into the heart of the Milky Way and aligning you. It's a galactic alignment, and that is going to be bringing in all sort of magnified downloads, clarity around what your soul agreements and soul contracts are, connection into new resources, new relationships, new thoughts, and new clarity. So new ideas coming to light, and everything seeming to finally coalesce and come together with a bow on it. So this month has a lot of different energy streaming, and that really is meant to help shake out, release, remove any stagnant energy or anything that is blocking you or keeping you from fully stepping into this this available energy that is so lovingly pouring around the planet and within the planet and coming from within the planet. We're going to discuss all those different points as we go through all of the super portals, all of these amazing gateways that are open for us to explore at our own pace, obviously, because different souls will take this energy in and integrate it within form as it aligns to your own soul's contract and growth towards higher enlightenment. So let's just start with the first day, which is June 1st. And many of you will probably be listening to this on June 1st because it is the first day, and it is the Unity Gateway. What's significant about this day is that it marks the halfway point of the year. So it's day 152 out of 365 days. And energetically, it's kind of a reset point. It's a great inflection moment to review the past 6 months and kind of think about what has been the major theme for you, and maybe set new goals, new intentions for what you would like to experience and what you would like to manifest or co-create into your reality for the next 6 months. Many people have commented to me about this month going by super fast. I myself can't believe it's already halfway through the year. But at the same time, I wonder if you feel this way too, but at the same time, it feels like it also has been stretched out. It has been really long as well. And the guidance that I'm getting from the Council of 12 about this time distortion has a lot to do with the people that are here holding light on the planet now. Different people are positioned in different parts of the globe and anchored into the Earth's own magnetic field and into those different grids, different ley lines. And you're holding the light, you're channeling energy through you, and you're anchoring so much of this high consciousness streaming of photonic energy that it has allowed for the entire planet to kind of circumvent some of these more disastrous type timelines. I know that many of you have heard a lot of these different doomsday prophecies and very fear-based end of the world scenarios. And it's not to say that the earth isn't in transit, because the earth is changing. evolving, ascending, and is going through some major transformations exactly as we are within our own physical bodies. And because of that, we're mirroring that same kind of energy. But with so many people elevating and holding this energy, it has somewhat shifted the degree or the severity of what some of these changes will look like. What I'm being shown is that instead of having major collapses in some of our bigger systems, for instance, the monetary system, that there will be instead many streams, many different avenues that we can connect into, connect into different ways of trading time for personal value or exchange, right? So this energy exchange is going to look different now than it has looked in the past. Many people will choose to not use dollars or use a paper-backed type structure for exchange. There's going to be different types of currency, and some of them are very ingenious and are more soul aligned, and that are outside of any kind of conventional type of monetary exchange. They're more aligned to the heart and this reciprocity of giving and receiving that feels more aligned to the spirit. And there's going to be more type of digital or more type of etheric, because etheric is a theme moving forward in the second half of the year. Etheric or astral, it is in the air. It is a part of the etheric or unseen, but also is the force of light. So in that way, you can look at anything like the internet even is in that space. So just look for different ways of the monetary system or other systems to start unifying now, rather than waiting for a total collapse to have to be restructured. So in that way, we're pulling these timelines forward from 2026, where we would be doing this in the old timeline avenues, meaning we're kind of just working, preparing the space now so that when these things start to collapse, we have something already ready to go. And that will also help with the emotional backlash that may show up with having to change some systems that have been in place for a very long time. And they also trigger feelings of insecurity or fear or safety, control, the lower chakras. But what we've been moving through the first half of this year has been about creating a new emotional level of emotional mastery and new ideas for our individual foundation based on our connection to our inner self and to our source of light within our solar plexus, and connection to source energy, God, universe, whichever word you use. So because you guys have been doing the work, we are now bringing in the timelines from 2026 to make the transition for global ascension that much better, which is so amazing. So one of this monetary system is just one of the type of systems that people are working towards. There is a lot of more soul connections coming forward, unifying of like-mindedness, like-heartedness. So people that maybe you wouldn't have met until 2026 are now finding ways to come together sooner in this now time. That's to help support one another through the emotional transition of moving into these new systems sooner, supporting those of you who need who have been through the ringer, and who are still holding energy for the planet, still anchoring in and allowing God's source light energy to move through you to anchor this new divine global template for what we as humans are now all evolving into. So thank you so much for continuing to do that, even though I know that it's been very challenging at times to continue to keep your vibration high. So going back to the midway point, it's a great time to reflect upon what you would like to bring more of into your world. What would you like to co-create with Source, your higher self, to bring into reality now? What do you feel like you're ready to finally let go of, and really kind of put that into your intention for the remainder of this year as we move into a whole, feels like a whole nother timeline that we're now stepping into, emerging from. And I'm also seeing like a butterfly emerging from the chrysalis. It's, you've gone through the whole breakdown. You've been pulled apart, put back together as something completely different. And now you are emerging from that beautiful container to be this elevated, beautiful version of yourself. So that's where we're at, which is pretty amazing. So we're leaving the winter, spring, and we're moving into summer, fall, the second half of the year, if you're on my side of the equator. But so we also have the summer solstice this month. It's not quite in alignment with my dates though. So we're going to go into the next day, which is on June 6th. This is the 666 portal, or the sixth gateway. It also, at the same day, is the new moon. So it has a ton of energy. This portal is going to be huge. I have like so much energy that's coming in now. The Council of 12, the Councils of Light, they are coming in, and they're wanting to talk about the vibrational aspect of the 666 portal that's coming in. I know many people like to think of that number being a dark number, but actually 6 signify balance. It's half of 12. And it signifies, so it's actually divine union, and it is about balance, finding balance. And that is within yourself, right? So your masculine and feminine self, which we all have, it's about integration of those two halves. So there is an exercise you can do with an infinity braiding, of braiding your left and your right side. And I will talk more about that later, but that's something that you can do. So the 666 portal that is coming in with that new moon is activating the your intuition, your pineal gland, and third eye. So it's about how you view yourself and how you want to project yourself into the timeline, into the field. Are you ready to step into that butterfly, right? It's like, are you going to project yourself as that old version of you? Or are you ready to step out of the shadows and become the beautiful version of you that you're working on, and that has been continued to be worked on for so long? So it's very much about that. It's connected to the gestation of the womb, and that's like the catalyst. That's just like the chrysalis, right? So I'll be doing a 6 gateway activation, and that is going to be connecting you from your pineal gland to your womb field. And the womb field is the inky, dark blackness, right? That's where you are able to bring yourself into form in your mom's tummy, right? And then you are born into the light, and that's what we're doing in a different level. It's just, it's esoterically being reborn as your highest spiritual self here now. And so we're going to integrate those two fields. It will bring in celestial memory strands that are going to be activated within the DNA, cosmic memory. So you might have memory of a lifetime outside of the planet timelines. You could like think of yourself as being an angel or an archangel or a fairy or something else, right? It's about seeing yourself outside of the physical human self, because you are a soul that is multidimensional and has so many expressions you wouldn't believe it. It's about opening the channel to your intuitive guidance, and it's going to be really important to quiet the noise and reconnect inwardly, to connect to that subtle intelligence, to your inner truth and knowingness. So you can see how this is picking up with a theme, right? This whole idea of death and rebirth, of evaluating where you've been and where you want to go, about balance, about the masculine and the feminine, the intuitive self and the self connected to your subconscious programming or ego. So there's a lot of inspiration this month to be able to move from an old version of you to a more aligned, intuitive, and shinier version of who you are becoming. So as you move, let's just move beyond like even this halfway point, because there's so much I could talk about each of these for so long. So I want to make sure that we get through the whole month without having this be a 2-hour video. So let's look at, we're moving out of the 6 gateway energy on the 6th. And that I'm going to be doing, as I was saying before, an activation and a meditation, and then I'll also be giving some tools to work with the energy and how to help it reshape the reality that you have created into one that you wish to be aligned to. Okay, so moving beyond that, let's go to June 12th. So June 12th, it's a 6, right? It's half of 12, and then we have 12. So this is a 12, 12, 12 activation in a portal. So at 12:12, just you can set your alarm on your iPhone or your whatever phone. And at 12:12, make a wish. You can work with it that way. You can work with it in that 12s are about completion. It's the energy that I work with, because 12 is about the perfection of creation. It is, there's a lot of different 12s we could go into, but it's about your soul's blueprint and your divine potential, what you are emerging to become and be. So you can use that 12, 12, 12 portal on 6/12 to write out. You can even write out your intentions of what you would like to experience for the month of June, and in this halfway point, as you even look at it as this halfway point of life, because I really do feel like we're stepping on to a new timeline, a new version of you, a new energy that's taking you away from karma and living a life of cause and effect and moving into a life of co-creation. So that's something to really explore with that 12, 12, 12. And it lines you up with the rest of the month so that your intention is coherent with your reality, right? With what you're becoming. And that's really relevant as we step into the next important date and huge, huge, huge activation and portal on June 15th. This is it's called the Fire Gate of Spirit. And so it's amazing, right? There's this huge transformational fire energy that is coming in. And it's all about your inner purification. It's burning away all of the outdated beliefs, all of your emotional baggage, all of that dense energy that you're still holding on to, any stagnation. It's in the alchemist frame of mind. This would be about the death, the ego death, the soul death. This is about the old soul's death. It's about this inner push that wants you to finally let go. I mean, maybe you've just been beat up and you're finally at that point that you're ready to surrender, and you've just had, you know, situation after relationship after whatever going on that has just been, you finally are ready to just stop resisting what you are meant to become. And that just makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, I definitely know that that's something that I've been dealing with myself. And this energy is asking us, and I've already been feeling it coming in. This fire energy is here. It's a catalyst for your spiritual rebirth. So it is, you can have your own fire ceremony. You can put something on paper that you're ready to let go of. You can burn it. It's very much about breath work as well. You can do different types of breath work. In Kundalini yoga, we have breath of fire. So that's something that you could do. You can light candles and have your own ceremony. So it's just letting the stuff go that no longer aligns to this soul that you're becoming, right? And it's such a huge opportunity. On this day and around this day, I would say between the 13th and the 17th, I'm hearing from the councils that there could be the beginning of this same movement that we're releasing with the earth. And it's going to come up as, you know, fire first. And this is very much about fire and water, because it's air meets fire. It's a dynamic that they play together in that esoteric and that ethers and this energy flow between there. There's a dance between air and fire, right? Well, the fire is going to be coming from volcanoes. The air is that the ether is bringing in the light codes, this plasmic energy that's coming in from the sun. So the sun carries, is sending photonic light packets through the ethers, and this plasmic energy that is going to be coming into the electromagnetic field of Earth. And that is going to be sparking the fire and the catalyst of movement within the Earth. So we can expect earthquakes and volcanoes. And I'm talking like some pretty profound energy. And I see that in the Pacific Asia area at the Ring of Fire, at the bottom of the Ring of Fire, Indonesia, near the Philippines, Tonga, Vanuatu, you know, the usual suspects. And there can even be underwater volcanoes that are going off that may be shooting up past the water. Even Hawaii is still on, is still coming into my mind. There could also be massive amounts of water that are going to be displaced, tidal waves, tsunami kind of energy. Because just as the fire is purifying, it is also helping to reorganize the waters of Earth. And I have a whole video about the recalibration of water. So water will be releasing into the center of Earth through large holes, basically, that is going to descend into the subterranean levels of Earth to be cleaned and rebirthed. And then there is all of the water that is stored in these huge underwater aquifers or seas of water. That water is purified and it is more God code. That water is going to be pumped up. And so we're going to have an exchange of water that's going to be going on. The water that's coming up is going to hold new opportunities for humanity. There will be new plasmic life within this water. We already see this energy coming up because we're going to see more icebergs, more ice breaking apart, being released from the electromagnetic energy of the South Pole, and it is going to be moving. The waters that are going to be coming up from the terrain is glacier water beneath, is holding different microorganisms that are more connected to much like mitochondria, how they produce ATP, which produces our energy in our body. There's going to be a different symbiotic relationships with new microorganisms and our bodies to allow us to absorb more light. There's going to be other life forms that are going to be seen and known. And the water will be more regenerative. It will be purifying, and it will be clearing the electromagnetic imprints of karma induced emotions that have been imprinted into the waters of Earth for eons of time since Atlantis. And so this is the rebirth of Earth by clearing of water through the catalyst of fire. So there's going to be a lot happening around the middle of June. And you can also put into that time frame in between the 13th and 17th, along with major Earth movement, along with major inner renovations of your own soul and of your own body and your own psyche, that we will be having some sort of huge energetic influx from the sun, whether those be solar flares, geomagnetic storms, that could also be turning off or could be temporarily disengaging our grid network, our grid system. And this has already happened in Europe earlier this year. 60 million people were without electricity for a whole day. I do see something like that transpiring. And hopefully, I mean, it's hard to say. We never know where it's going to actually end up because it's based on the collective consciousness. And so hopefully it won't be as long as it could have been. But I do see electrical disturbances, traveling disruptions, and then there will be people that are experiencing the symptoms from these light activations that come in from the sun. And I will put that on my link tree. I'll put that link below, but I have a whole thing about how to help mitigate the symptoms that you experience from solar flares. It's a lot to do with the cardiac. So anything with the heart, because we have an electromagnetic field around our heart, and the second largest is around our brain. So anything to do with our neurology. So strokes, heart issues, you will have issues with your people that already have any kind of neurological deficit or challenge. Well, it will increase. It also, and so that's that. Anyway, that'll be in that document. I'll put it below, that ways to help with the solar flares. It's going to get intense. There's going to be a lot of solar activity in the month of June and a lot of Earth movement. Okay. So we can just kind of know that's coming, but when we have the idea that that could possibly be there, it allows you to deal with the emotional angst ahead of time, right? So if you are already aligning to your own inner changes, your own inner renovations, then you know that the outward world is going to reflect that too, right? It's got to reflect it back to you when you're already shifting into this next version of yourself inwardly. Okay. So if that whole catalyst is the death, then the rebirth comes in on June 21st with the summer solstice and full moon This is the strawberry moon. And so it's the summer solstice. It's the longest day of the year in the northern hemisphere. And this solar energy, again, is more fire, full blazing fire. And that light is meant to help us to elevate in vibration, to illuminate and bring more wisdom and the truth of who we are, to activate our inner ancient wisdom, our knowledge that we have carried with us lifetime through lifetime and through our lineage DNA. It's a day of abundance, and it's turning towards the light, right? It's such a truth-seeking time of expansion. And there is a huge psychic opening, because we've already discussed that on the 6th, the whole month of June through the 6th gateway is about the third eye, right? The activating of the third eye. And so with that, we know that that inner knowing and the wisdom and the illumination and the connection to our own inner psyche is even going to be more amplified and impacted with the summer solstice. So we have all of these energies coalescing and coming together to help us see ourselves as the truth of who we are, which is a spark of the divine. So the rebirth, the phoenix coming out of that fire, is you. And the fire is in your solar plexus, and that is your own personal sun, your own inner radiance, your sovereignty, your confidence, your power. And that's what's being just activated like crazy on this day for you. And it connects to the solar gateway, into the sun, behind the sun central to all suns, the father aspect of Father, Mother, God, the golden flame of the threefold flame. It is that fire energy, that spark of knowing with absolute certainty that you are God and God is you, that you are a part of God and that you are eternal, and that there is nothing to fear, and that you are always loved and always protected and cared for and valued. And that is the sun that will be radiating throughout your solar plexus to bring in that truth for you in any way that it's relevant in your life. So very much about taking back your power. There could be different types of things that may have been going on in your own world and your life that have to do with the justice system, anything that you have been looking for justice in your life, anything about a judgment, or some sort of final disposition about some sort of court situation that you've had, anything that you've been looking for and the answer to be done so that you can move on, whether that be in the celestial courts or in earth courts. But anything about that is going to be coming to a close. Anywhere where you have been held back by dark magic, anything that has been put upon you by control, anything that has been keeping you from living a life of freedom, of your free will choice. All of those things are going to be coming out, illuminated and burned off with this fire. So it is a month of reckoning as well, because it is the ending of this narrative where you're being held captive, where you are being suppressed, or you have been manipulated or controlled. And that same theme you'll be able to see throughout the world, because again, we're experiencing it individually. It will be expressed outwardly, and it will be expressed on a global stage. I think one of the reasons that the earth is not going to be moving through as many physical recalibrations is because it's going to be recalibrating in the global communities with government and different forms of groups and organizations where people are standing up for their own rights and refusing to be suppressed or controlled and manipulated any longer. And there's going to be a lot more truth coming to light, more more demand for the truth, so that the communities can then create a new way forward, because you can't really move forward into the light without knowing the truth, right? So that's what this is about. It's about bringing it all together, resetting through these activations and these powerful portals of light and truth to decide how you want to be seen and heard, to decide how much of your soul you're wanting to bring and to integrate into your physical body, and how you choose to be, how you choose to participate through your work and through your communities and who and what you support. So there is going to be a lot of shuffling this month. There'll be a lot of people transitioning in and out of employment, in and out of homes. Relationships are going to finally conclude that have been on their way out for a long time. There will also be a lot of sudden insight and clarity around the next step for you. If you feel like you haven't been able to find your way forward and you couldn't come up with the right answer, this is the month that you can get clarity. You can use the last day of the month as an integration portal, June 30th, before we move into July, and really review everything that has come together for you for the month, and integrate that energy into how you're going to move forward with it. It's a good time to create your plan for July or August, or for the second half of the year, after you move through the activations and openings of these particular portals and gateways, to create the pathway forward for yourself. And if you're like me, it has felt like it has been a time of rest and recalibration, and just really not creating those kinds of plans, just living in the moment and being in the now. That's kind of where I've been guided to sit within this past month that we're concluding in May and now moving into June. But I feel June is a completely different energy. It's all this inspired action, and everything that's coming together will be about creating a plan for your forward action that will allow you to live your best life and to connect to that higher aspect of yourself, to commune with the inner God, goddess that is within you, to retrieve all of that ancient wisdom that is stored within you, to really walk in this world as your highest expression of self. I believe that fully is coming for you, and to whatever degree it is that aligns to your own soul's truth. So I'm going to wrap that up for the month of June and all of the different energies that are coming in for June. You can check my website or any of the links below for the events that I have coming up in the month of June, and with more description on how to join and etc. And I'm wishing you a beautiful and luminous and active month. And I will be sending you lots of love and blessings for everything to transpire exactly how you want it to. So, all right, guys, take care. Until next time.